welcome, of course, to our viewers. It seems every Monday the viewership is going up and going up. And so thank you very much for that. And very important topic. I know we have covered this before, or perhaps repeatedly by QRTRV News, but I would like to bring forward Royal Decree number 44. The injections, medications, and mRNA therapy, the prohibition and the criminalization of that mRNA therapy that targets the mucus and vital organs of not only Homo sapiens, but animals. Anyone would like to speak to that? Okay. And I have Her Excellency Darlene here as my assistant. So she'll be the one muting and unmuting whoever's the next speaker. Okay, and it looks like Her Excellency Deep Coming Soul, you'll have to unmute yourself. We cannot unmute your microphone from here. Voila. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Very good. So what that decree really brings to light is bringing us to the realization of showing them for what they were, weapons to harm we the people. And it also brings, that decree also brings to light the dangers it brought, because who wears masks? Somebody who wants to rob a bank. So to wear a mask hides the identity, and how harmful for children, putting them at such a risk of not being able to identify the psychological effect of them, for them being in school. And they pick up a lot of the emotional of the face. So that is also very psychologically damaging to children, to have to be seeing a teacher that has a mask in front of their face and not be able to pick up the cues that children pick up from a facial expression. Thank you.
Correct. Next. Who are we calling on? Did you write down who's next? I'm going to write down.
Lady Cecilia.
Lady Cecilia, Her Excellency Cecilia.
Thank you. I just was going to reiterate the fact that this royal decree was made right at the beginning of all the evil that went on with the COVID shots, requiring masks, the lines on the floor, and all the evils that were put upon the IAMs across the world, around the world, actually. And I thought it was interesting to note that it's retroactive to July 1st, 1867. So that's a long time ago. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else would like to speak to that? His Excellency Yves Fortier.
Okay, thank you. We know now, and it's clear, that was not for the benefits of we the people. So many will be responsible for this criminal act. Yes, thank you.
Correct. Okay, anyone else? His Excellency Michael.
Greetings, Your Majesty. Greetings, everyone. I would just like to add that this royal decree issued January 2022 goes hand in hand with Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo I's cease and desist orders written May 28, 2021, and was common sense versus the nonsensical mask wearing. And as I'd like to point out, the exemptions in this royal decree are: 1, construction sites where dust masks are used; 2,
Correct.
dentist office during oral procedures; and 3, hospital operation rooms only. Outside of that, it was completely nonsensical. Thank you, Your Majesty.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. And Her Excellency Deborah. Your Excellency Deborah, you may have to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty.
Go ahead. Okay, she's muted again. There you go.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. I just wanted to remind everybody that Queen Romana was the only world leader that declared the nefarious in her effort to assist humanity.
Thank you very much. And true enough.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will have Her Excellency Gina Lee. Just one moment. I would like to say that the mainstream propaganda machine and those that they were able to buy and pay off really did an exemplary job at making sure the information, the truth, was suppressed from the very beginning so that the people wouldn't believe truth. And that's what they had done with the cease and desist order when the hospitals, different organizations and government agencies were receiving a cease and desist order from the people. The propaganda machine kicked in and demonized Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana's effort to help and to prevent we the people from being harmed by the mRNA that was designed really to assimilate humanity into a machine, turning them into a Borg with a centralized nanobot connected to the mother computer, receiving messages remotely as if it was connected to a Bluetooth. Thank you, Your Excellency Gina Lee. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. I wanted to put a few things together based on this royal decree, and the information it gives us as the knowledge that can come from this is that the mRNA injections, the bioweapon, damaged the mucosis. Pardon if I'm saying that incorrectly, but the mucosis of the lungs, and it damaged those pieces, and then people were forced to put on a mask that allowed bacteria and all these other things to be put into the body, and that further damaged your lungs. And then it makes you question, when you end up going to the hospital, why they were putting us on ventilators and the damage that caused to our lungs. Correct. And the impact of that. So all those pieces put together shows us how evil the COVID injection bioweapon was, and that it really was intended for mass murder and genocide. And all those pieces together, I think, are just unequivocal. It really seals the deal that was the intention. Thank you, Your
Correct. Anyone else before we go to the next? Her Excellency Sally Wong, thank you.
Thank you, Your Royal Majesty Queen Romana I. This royal decree speaks up for the people. And so to thank Your Royal Majesty Queen Romana I for doing this. It's written to protect the rights of all the helpless. And it's like what Deep Calming Soul said at the beginning. The pandemic was a danger to our health, and it was harmful to the people of the world. And for years, the mainstream media has been lying to the whole world, but this pandemic, it was planned. It was an Illuminati plan, and the Queen put it like this: Her Royal Majesty called it a bioweapon, mass murder, and genocide. And that video that Your Royal Majesty made February 2021, if only the world had heard that, but they didn't, because it was not allowed. In fact, it was mocked. But in that video, that was about a year before Your Royal Majesty walked into Parliament Hill in Ottawa the next year, that historic day, February 3rd, 2022, to remove all these mandates. So this is history. This is her story. This is your Majesty's story, Royal Decree 44. And the important thing to remember about this Royal Decree is that the death penalty, we've been educated, we must be very careful about justice. You cannot undo unaliving someone. And the law says that a person is not guilty until they're proven guilty. And they are innocent until proven guilty. And
Yes.
that has to do with presenting factual evidence.
Correct.
And the thing that I just wanted to touch on was that historic video that Your Royal Majesty made February 2021, and you said that the mandates were unlawful, which are the three things: the vaccines, the PCR testing, and the masks. And you said in that video that those people who planned this worldwide, it was political, it was the medical, it was the mainstream media, they will be tried under the Nuremberg Code, you said, and they will have no defense because the corporation government will be gone, the banking system will be gone, the maritime admiralty courts will be gone, you said. And you said in that video that the vaccines were criminal. It was a crime against humanity because it did not pass approval. It was still in the trial phase. And to quote you, you said, Your Royal Majesty, that it was a poisonous drug cocktail. And we, the people, were the lab rats. And you said there in 2021 that these mandates for the COVID pandemic was a crime against humanity, and it will not go unpunished. And you said when the time comes, you will sign the execution papers. And of course, it is based on until you're proven guilty.
Correct. Thank you. And out of that statement, one of the propaganda at that time CIA asset really went into a full-on created a hit piece on Queen Romana saying that, and this obviously all false narrative, disinformation, misinformation, miseducation, and of course to suppress the truth. So in this case, this low-hanging fruit who called himself journalist wrote a hit piece with all the lies and slandering Queen Romana about Queen Romana going around and shooting supposedly medical workers. And that really created fear in the Vita people. And you can see that that whole thing was proven to be just that, distraction, someone who was paid, obviously, and I'm quite aware that while I was traveling across the country, we had people who were paid by politicians to go and antagonize the Queen because they thought I would be running for office. That's how committed they were to ignorance, because the Queen does not run for office. My name never goes into a ballot box. And yet the politicians and some of the very corrupt chief who called themselves indigenous chiefs, sent their hooligans to try to intimidate myself and the team traveling with me at that time. And so I do have the list of those individuals, those politicians and the corrupt chiefs, and even some of the corrupt RCMPs that stood by and cooperated with the harassment. And those, you'll notice, some are no longer in service. But this is what happened, as I said, number one, it didn't fit within their programmed matrix agenda that the Queen be someone from Asia, because they were always programmed to have someone who looked American or European, someone who's always looking Caucasian. And also, not only that, it had to be either a male, a masculine or a feminine, again, of a European lineage. Well, guess what? European royal families were actually fakes. And the oldest royal families are from Asia. And as I said before, look around you. The indigenous peoples, the natives, however you would call them, however they identify themselves, they look like me. They don't look like Europeans. So you need to get over that. Those who are still thinking that the invaders and the colonizers are your royal families, no. They were your oppressors. They were your slave owners. And the true royal is right here. And you can see the work that is being done. There's a contrast and you can compare and contrast my work and my focus on making sure that we the people, the enslavement is removed, and that the we the people are assisted, and royal decrees are there to protect the we the people, the kingdom, and the sovereignty of the kingdom, and the protection, and making sure that the we the people financially are assisted, not deprived of their natural resources, not deprived of the advanced technologies. That's the difference between those who were put there and have no clue what a true royal a monarch's work is. So anyhow, I can go on until probably years and years explaining this, but that's just the the short version of it. And for those who are still having their egos really in conflict with the fact that not only do you have an ASEAN lineage monarch in the Kingdom of Canada, but she is feminine, because many of you only seem to grasp the information or take information, or take, not you specifically, not the panel, but some of the viewers and some who may view this live stream in the future. There are many who cannot handle taking, for example, information and wisdom from a feminine energy, let alone someone from Asia. But that's because of the programming, because when you look, and you will find out that the oldest civilization does not come from the West. It comes from the East. And many are being educated, of course, of what is happening not only in the East, but the global South. So I would suggest you have a conversation with your ego and sever the ties with your personal ties with ignorance, because some have committed, some or many have married made a personal commitment to be married to ignorance. And so they have one perspective, and that's that, and unwilling to get educated, true education, as to what's happening around the world and the outside the box of what they've been programmed from the West educational system, designed by the Rockefeller Foundation. So, all right.
I believe Her Excellency Sally Wong had another comment.
Okay, Her Excellency Sally Wong, you have another comment?
Well, thank you for that, Your Royal Majesty, that your royal decrees do protect our human rights. What I wanted to say was the way the mainstream media smeared your reputation actually made your followers find you more interesting, actually.
Correct.
Because we listened to what you had. It made so much sense. And they did twist the whole thing around, and it was projection. It was not our Royal Majesty Queen Romana I who wanted to kill people. It was people like me who thought, well, if they're injecting people with poison that hasn't even been experimented on properly yet, and a lot of people are dying from the vaccines, whether they say it or not. I mean, those medical people are murderers. And some of us really did feel, I'm sorry, that, you know, justice had to be done. I mean, it's only proper that they be judged for it. So it was more maybe on some of your followers, and they twisted it and they said it was the Queen that said that.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Media twists everything.
Yes. Also, there were infiltrators who came up with the narrative cults, and also some who pretended to be my followers and sent cease and desist order to different places that I had known nothing about. I knew nothing about the whole thing, and then would be claiming that they were on some sort of a list. And of course, that they were doing this while we were still traveling across the country. So when we went into a town, for example, that had never met me, they would of course have this reservation, and some were really believing. They took it as truth that, oh my gosh, this Queen Romana is going around shooting people. That was the most ridiculous thing. And some really have lost their common sense because, you know, somebody went and created a false narrative about the Queen supposedly running in some people's neighborhoods and shooting people, hanging children up a tree. And I'm like, do you even listen to yourself? So that's the kind of narrative that had been put out there by liars. And that was really to slander, to smear my name and my work. And really, that had little to do with me, but that was to prevent the people from knowing my work so that the invaders, the colonizers, could continue keeping the people of the Kingdom of Canada and worldwide enslaved. That's why they were suppressing. They suppressed the truth that I was delivering from the very beginning. Because they didn't want the public to know that there is someone, there's a monarch, a true monarch who actually is leading for the people. If you look, what have they done to leaders who work for their people? Right? So that's what they were trying to do, and to intimidate. And as I said, I have the list of those individuals. Some who went to try to intimidate me and the mobile team at that time ended up confessing who sent them to intimidate me. And this is one thing they didn't count on. And they would usually pick someone who was mentally unstable to go and harass me and intimidate me as I was traveling. Well, the other side to that coin was that individuals that they sent ended up confessing who sent them and their names and who was funding them. So, someone I think had their hand there. I think His Excellency Michael had, oh no, Her Excellency Sally Wong. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say again that they project, and
Correct.
and the way they acted was violently towards you. The way they would drive by, scaring people, honking horns, making threats, giving your people, your royal team of the thumb, maybe scaring your dogs, you breaking, like destroying your fence. I mean, they did a lot of violent things, and yet our Royal Majesty, your Royal Majesty, you're true to form. You have peace, and you handled everything very peacefully. There was no violence on your part whatsoever. We saw it.
Thank you. Well, we have on video also of what had happened here when there was a break-in entry, the violent and criminal break-in entry, someone who trespassed and harmed some of the team members. That individual, we have it on video, that he was given a script of from the cameraman. So there was a cameraman that was doing that sort of documentary. And before they started, he was given a piece of paper to read. So his handlers, those were his handlers, as I had identified. But that was just one. There were many, many incidents as I was traveling across the country because of the misinformation and the disinformation that clearly the globalists and their minions, who were afraid of having the truth go out to the public, made every effort to suppress my message to the Vita people, because that was the truth and remains to be until today, and will remain that forever. So, Your Excellency, Darlene Ondi.
I also wanted to say that many IAMs do not know that we had death threats. We were threatened not once, but several times that the building be burnt to the ground with us in it. And there was enthusiasm behind that statement. They threatened to poison the puppies. There's those threats to shoot us in the head. It was very blatant threats, and absolutely nothing was done about it. Nothing.
So, calm as we go, because as I said, people, especially in small towns, were so misinformed about Queen Romana because of what they saw on the mainstream media. The same when we were in Newfoundland and Labrador. Before we even got off the ferry, there was already this narrative, and there was a lot of really unpleasant activities happening there. But by the time we left, the people in Port aux Basques saw, Newfoundland and Labrador, Port aux Basques, saw that, oh, what the mainstream media was telling about Queen Romana was completely a complete lie and false information, because the queen that they saw was someone who was delivering groceries to different seniors' apartments and then buying groceries for the Vita people there, and even at night delivering groceries. And if we encountered someone that I noticed was having a hard time financially, I would pay for their groceries at a grocery store. So and there was no violence. And so by the time we left Port aux Basques, the Vita people there were crying, saying thank you very much, and we apologize. That was a completely, the information we heard about you was completely opposite as to who you are and the team. And this is why I traveled, because you cannot ever replace that one-on-one meeting and exchange with we the people. Thank you, Your Excellency. I think Her Excellency Sally Wong. One last comment, and then we'll go to the next topic.
Just very quick. And we will not forget your humanitarian efforts to introduce yourself to the people on the East Coast, Your Royal Majesty, because there are videos of you doing all that humanitarian work with the team.
Yes.
And it was very powerful. And that was 4 years ago. We must not forget this history.
Thank you. And we even handed out generators, brand new generators, to a family there in Newfoundland and Labrador. Many of you may have watched that. We went to the cat shelter and we provided them food. They lost their laptop during the Fiona typhoon there, or storm. So we purchased them a new laptop and delivered it there. And then we gave them money. So this, all of this is not covered, of course, by the mainstream media, because that would take down their false narrative about Queen Romana and Queen Romana's work. But we have all of that documented. So, all right. Now we're going